Hi, my name is John, and this is my good buddy Andy. You're listening to the Packers Blitz podcast, the podcast done by two diehard Packer fans who survived the dark times of the 1980s Packers football and live to talk about it. So, this podcast, as always, is dedicated to the world's greatest fans, Packer fans. So, you desperately, oh boy. Oh, I should say, welcome to our podcast and welcome, Andy. Um, we desperately need football back in our lives. I can't take it anymore. Andy, I'm literally watching cricket. Just something different. Let me tell you, I got to stop that. I don't understand what's going on. Do you understand cricket, Andy? The sport cricket? Just that at all?
I was on Crackle the other day, which is a free app.
Yeah. Okay.
And I watched some of the Tom Selleck movies where he plays that cop. I think his last name's Stone. And I watched. I was so bored. I watched all of them in succession. But I was trying to figure out which ones went first because they didn't have them in order.
No. Yeah.
We're just Jesse Stone, I think is his name.
Yeah. Well, this is pathetic. Anyway, between we want football, everybody wants football. So, Andy, I have some good news for you. Training camp, the first 3 opening practices. Okay, it's 4 days as part of the opening week, July 27th through July 29th. So not too far apart. And the Packers will be open the second week with 3 open practices, July 30th, August 1st, August 3rd, before family night takes place at Lambeau Field on Saturday, August 5th. So one of the things that I'm really excited about.
John, not to interrupt you. But ahead. I think training camp officially starts on the 26th of July, but I could be totally wrong about that.
No, that's great.
So I saw that in a couple different sources, and you said 4 days, but the 27th through the 29th, that would be 3 days. So I think it's the 26th through the 29th.
There we go. 26.
But since you put it in the the little sheet that we go off of and that we're looking at right now, I didn't want to say anything or change it because I thought I could be wrong. Okay.
Please correct me.
Yeah, but I think it starts on the 26th.
26th. Okay. Yeah. So that's not too far away. That's, 3 weeks.
And that's awesome. Isn't it, John?
Oh, thank you.
It's awesome. Training camp starting pretty soon. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since our last podcast.
We don't really, we didn't really have a lot to talk about, right?
No. So I've been so eager for real football games to start that I actually watched a United States Football League, a USFL game for a few minutes the other day. And I watched for a few minutes. I think they were in the playoffs, or I don't know if it was the championship or something important was going on with that. But John, I will say I really would like to see real professional football, the real deal. Because I watched nothing against those guys. They're playing their butts off and their hearts out.
Yeah, they're doing their best. Yeah.
You could just see it was a little bit slower. It's hard to explain. You almost have to watch it to understand it. But when you're watching the real NFL football and the NFL Football League, it's totally different. So and that's in my opinion. But
okay, so we're going to talk about the little Packer news that we have. Not too much. Andy, you can bring up some stuff, but in this podcast, I want to let you guys know. Every week or every other week, however we decide, it's summer, so Andy and I both have things we're doing. But once we have an opportunity to talk about this, we're going to talk about each position group. So this week, just to let you know, we'll get to the news here in a second. So there's not really a lot. We're going to talk about offensive line, tight ends, and special team. And like I said, we're going to do that every week. Each position group, up until we get to training camp, and then we're going to talk about training camp. And I think there's going to, Andy, this is my opinion. See if you believe this too. I think there's a lot of news going to come out of training camp because already there's been a lot of rumors that Jordan Love is still having issues. And if that's true, well, training camp is really going to bring up the issues because who really is there anymore that you can't really, when Aaron Rodgers was there, say, oh, Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that, because you don't want to. But with Jordan Love, he's kind of open game. You know what I mean? He's like, better take the criticism, buddy, because here it comes. So anyway,
yeah. So John, we'll be doing some more podcasts and more often, and so hopefully the fans of Packers Blitz will be listening in for that. But you'll be hearing from us a little bit more often the next few weeks.
Yes, absolutely. So let's get to like some Packer news here really quick. So Luke Musgrave, he's officially signed. I believe all our rookies are signed. So that's a good thing. We'll see how he does. I'm not going to get into the details of the contract at all because who cares? Adrian Amos, our safety, he's now with the Jets, which, what do you think, Andy? We're going to miss him, you think?
Not at all. I don't think so.
There you go.
You could tell he was starting to decline a little bit. And, I think his leadership we're going to miss. But, be quite honest, I think we got some better alternatives on the roster right now.
Agree.
So I think we'll be just fine.
I totally agree on that. If you want to check it out too, Aaron Jones got this weird tattoo that basically is like he's a Packer forever. You'll have to see it. There's pictures out there. Maybe I'll put some on the website. It's just really interesting because I think like Aaron Jones to me is going to be the new Jerry Kramer. When Jerry Kramer was alive, he's passed recently, well, a couple years ago. He was an ambassador of the Packers. I mean, literally, he would go everywhere, anywhere to talk Packers. And he was an amazing spokesman for the Packers. I think Aaron Jones, I don't know if you saw this, Andy. Sean Clifford, our rookie quarterback out of Penn State. I don't know if you saw this, but Aaron Rodgers sent him an autographed jersey and a personal message to basically say like, hey, take care of my locker, because if you don't know, Packer Blitz fans, Sean Clifford has Aaron Rodgers' locker. Now, why they wouldn't give it to Jordan Love, I have no idea, but Sean Clifford has it. And also, like I said, he got a personal message from Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, take care of my locker, wish you all the best. Kim got a little motivational message and stuff like that. So I don't know. Did you see that, Andy, at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't.
there you go.
I mean, I heard about it from. I think you mentioned it last time on our last Packers Blitz podcast.
It was kind of interesting. So, last but not least, this is not really Packer news, but I had to bring it up. So, the New York Jets are going to be on Hard Knocks, and if you know anything about Hard Knocks, it's on Max, and basically they cover the inside life of the football team and the outside life. It's actually pretty interesting. Andy, I'm going to have you over sometime and I will show you some Hard Knocks episodes because they're super interesting. My favorite Hard Knocks is when they did the Cincinnati Bengals about 5 years ago, just before they're really good. They were okay. And James Harrison, the linebacker who was a linebacker for the Steelers, who joined the Cincinnati Bengals, every time he would pass a Hard Knocks camera, he would flip it off. And we lost Andy. Oh, there you, buddy? You still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. I thought I lost you for a second. So every time James Harrison would go past the Hard Knocks camera, he would flip it off because he absolutely hated these guys being there. And with Aaron Rodgers, if you don't know this, Packer fans, Hard Knocks has tried for years to get into Green Bay Packers and have them on Hard Knocks. And the Packers have fought them tooth and nail, including Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I want nothing to do with this. He went to Mark Murphy. He went to, all the big shots and said, no, I do not want them here. And they said, okay, all right, no problem. We don't have to do it. And now Aaron Rodgers, welcome to Hard Knocks. Your life is going to be on display, and which is the worst thing for that team, because it usually is a curse for you. If you're on Hard Knocks, your season usually sucks, except this is the exception. Last year, the Detroit Lions were on Hard Knocks, and they had one of their best seasons ever. So who knows? Maybe the Jets will get something out of this, which I doubt, but who knows? Any feelings on this, Andy, about the Hard Knocks and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, simply put, not good. All the distractions of Hard Knocks, I don't think is going to help the Jets to focus. I think they're going to have a hard enough time with their new quarterback, a lot of new players.
Yep.
And I don't think this is going to help them at all. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, I don't see how it could help. So just more distractions for the team, a team that definitely doesn't need them. So, if you're going to be successful in this league, you got to be focused. And, they've got a lot of young players too. I just don't think that's a good thing. There's enough distractions in New York as it is. And this does not help matters. So
absolutely.
But I wish them well. Wish them luck with that. Best of luck.
Good luck. Good luck. So unless Andy, you wanted to add something, let's start getting into the position groups. What do you think?
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to mention, John, is I've got some Packers news toward the end of Packers Blitz that I'm going to talk about. It's a little bit depressing, but also inspirational at the same time, if you can believe that. But everyone will have to wait until the end, probably in the next hour and a half or so. And I'm just kidding about that. Hopefully this podcast isn't that long today, but so
good teaser. So let's
just have to wait patiently.
Yes, it's a nice teaser. Thanks, buddy. So we're going to start with the first position group, the offensive line. So one of the first things is I'm just going to do a quick fire, okay, before we get into your in-depth research, Andy. Thank you so much. So quick fire, Andy, just say yes or no. That's all I need from you. And then we'll kind of discuss it. Okay. So offensive line, trade Bakhtiari.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What do you think about Elton Jenkins? Do you think he'll be finally healthy this year and make it through the whole entire year without getting hurt? Yes or no?
Yes. I believe he will be just fine. Stay healthy.
All right. Do you feel our offensive line depth is good enough? Yes or no?
Yes. Definitely yes.
I love that. We got a positive offensive line. So,
the whole Bakhtiari thing, John, he is a big risk. He has not been able to stay healthy. And there are a lot of salary cap considerations with his figure and everything. Yeah. So, and to be quite honest, from previous podcasts, I think people understand that I'm not expecting a whole lot this year. And I really hope I'm wrong. And if that's the case, then you have to be able to get value out of trading Bakhtiari. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that can use a really, really good left tackle.
Yeah. What do you think we can get for him? A player and a draft pick, or just a draft pick?
Well, I think draft pick wise, they would be lucky if they'd even be able to get a second or a third rounder for him. I don't think a first rounder would be anything that any team would ever consider doing. Not with his history of being hurt. So at least lately.
I thought we could get a fourth and a fifth. Too low?
Okay.
Or too crazy? All the above?
Well, I would be happy with a single second or third rounder, and that's basically I don't know what the value is, the comparative value, but
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, really,
Uh,
John, when he's right, he's one of the top probably
yeah,
3 or 4
top.
left tackles in the game.
Yeah,
Easily.
yeah,
Easily.
yeah,
And he might be considered maybe in the top 1 or 2 if he wouldn't have got hurt. But
yes. Oh,
unfortunately, he
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And he's regained a lot of the form, that all-pro
Yeah,
form, that Pro Bowl form that he used
hmm
to have in the past.
yeah,
But it's still out there. Is his knee right? Will it
yeah.
ever be right
And
again? So
is his attitude right? He has said some things recently, and he's backstepped like they always do, saying basically we're gonna suck. The Packers are gonna suck. Just get used to it. Now he's gone and he stepped back from it and said, no, what I meant was we're gonna have to grow and we're gonna get better. Yeah, just we get it. We suck. All right. Just stick with what you said and own it. And don't backtrack on us because frankly, that Jordan Love is not a proven commodity yet, and you don't know what you're getting in him. And yeah, we could win 3 games. But I don't see that, but we could. Um, and as you said, Andy, you don't see us going to the playoffs. And I maybe change my mind on that. We'll have to see after training camp. So after training camp is when I'm going to make my lock lock it down predictions for our season, because who knows in
yeah,
training camp, right? Somebody gets hurt, then
yep,
where are you?
you're
So
right. Yeah,
all
well,
right,
I mean, and David is one of the leaders of the team, and
correct,
and a veteran player.
yeah,
And he probably said some things he shouldn't have. We have
yeah,
a pretty young team, and I don't think that's showing them how to lead and how
no,
to
no,
deal with the situation. And I know he's being honest, and I'm all
right,
for that, but sometimes
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
stuff you want to get out
no,
in
you want to
the
hear, right,
media. So,
no,
and
exactly,
so I that part of it is a little bit disconcerting, but
yeah.
got to move
All right,
forward
so
now,
Andy, why
and
don't we get
maybe
in?
that will be
Yeah,
trading him.
that might be trading them. So tell us
So
what
the
you think,
position
Packer
group of
fans.
offensive line, go for it.
Go for it.
So in 23 days, the Green Bay Packers will head to the practice field for their first practice of training camp. And here are some insights that I have about that and the offensive line and whatnot. So in 23 days, on July 26th, training camp starts. The offensive line is probably the single position that causes coaches and personnel men to lose sleep and to lie awake at night staring at the ceiling. Just a note.
Right.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
what John and I do on a regular basis without NFL to watch. What do you think, John, about that one?
Praise you. Amen. Amen, brother. Amen,
Yeah.
brother.
This position
And
group is
not
very,
probably. It is.
yeah. This position group is very deep. Our offensive line is really deep, really good, and should bring a lot of competition to the football field on July 26th. Not many starting jobs will be up for grabs. Key battles loom, especially at right tackle and center. So I'm going to go quickly through the Green Bay Packers depth chart. Not to bore people too much, but at left tackle, we've got David Bakhtiari, Caleb Jones, and Rasheed Walker. They're all returning. And at left guard, we have Elton Jenkins, Royce Newman, and Sean Ryan. I think it's Ryan. Could be wrong on that. Yep. Center Josh Myers, Jake Hansen, and DJ. Have no idea. Skyfe Jr. He's not going to make it anyway. Right guard anyway. John Runyon, Chuck Falagia, and Jean Delance.
Yeah, he won't make it either.
And right tackle, we got Yash Nyman, Zach Tom, Luke Tenuta, and Kadeem Telford. Now, the reason I listed off all these players is this is what we have right now in the offensive line room, all the players. And so there's a couple positions that there's going to be a lot of battles going on. And so I'm going to mention those right now. The first battle that's going to take place is going to be at right tackle. The Packers need to find a spot for Zach Tom to start. He's ready.
Mm-hmm.
He is listed at right tackle on the depth chart, but he can also play center. It's Josh Nijman's job to lose. However, and this will be news for John, the Packers have been rumored to be potentially trading Josh to get some value because he is only signed for 1 year and is headed for unrestricted free agency. Matt Johnson from Sportsnot calls Josh an absolute steal for the franchise, starting 21 games the last 2 seasons after entering the league as a free agent in 2019. The 6'7" offensive lineman proved adept in pass protection last year, earning a 74.4 Pro Football Focus rating and pass blocking grade. Right tackles Luke Tenuta and Kadeem Telford round out the group and are both massive human beings at 6'8" tall. If you can believe that, John.
Oh, jeez.
And so Tenuta is 314 pounds. Telford is 330 pounds.
Whoa.
So unless Nijman or Bakhtiari gets traded, I would expect both Tenuta and Telford to be put on the practice squad. We don't have enough spots, and I'll get into that in a second. They are going to be on the practice squad unless something happens. So then the other position that there's going to be a battle going on is the center spot. So Josh Myers could lose his starting center spot very easily. He regressed last year after having a good 2021 rookie campaign. Packers will not keep 3 centers, so expect the other 2 to be either cut or sent to the practice squad. Jake Hansen has been with the club since 2020. DJ, I cannot pronounce his last name, Junior, is an intriguing undrafted fellow who played right guard and right tackle for 5 years with the Miami Hurricanes.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. Wow. He must have redshirted 1 year.
Yeah. He wasn't a starter. He
was. Yep. Yeah,
for
he
5
played.
Years.
He played guard and right tackle for them.
Okay.
Yep. Which the Packers like. They like players being able to play multiple positions. He can play guard and right tackle.
Yeah, we talked about that on previous podcasts.
Yep.
But we need maulers.
So again,
maulers.
Right. Yeah.
Not the on your ass guy.
And then, as we talked about before, left tackle is set with David Bakhtiari. Green Bay has 2 capable backups in Jones and Walker. If there's any chance that the Packers trade David, they may keep all 3 on the final roster. They did last year, and they could again. So Elton Jenkins is the starter at left guard. Royce Newman and Sean Ryan, or is it Ryan?
Ryan, it's Ryan.
Okay, Ryan are also really good backups who could be starting for another NFL team very easily. So those 2 probably will be backing up Elton Jenkins unless something unforeseeable happens.
No.
So overall, and I know I've been kind of talking a lot here, but this is a very deep group. That's why the Packers did not draft a single offensive lineman in 2023. According to Mark Lillibridge from the Bleacher Report, and this is him talking, most teams would love to keep 10 offensive linemen on the active roster because they are so hard to find on the street. The Packers may just do that and keep 10. Realistically, that number is normally about 9, but I predict that they're going to actually keep 10. And that means that the Packers do have some difficult personnel decisions to make because they're so good on the offensive line. So, any final thoughts on the Packers offensive line position group before we move on to tight ends, John?
I think that's a good problem to have. So here's our starting lineup. Let's just do this right now and see if we're right. So I still think Josh Myers is going to be center. Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
I don't see them going.
I would agree with that, but they have to get Zach Tom in there somewhere. So that's a possibility. Correct. If Josh Myers doesn't step up, they may just put him in there.
We got Zach
instead.
Obviously, Elton Jenkins, David Bakhtiari, and that's where
right guard.
So that's right.
Yeah.
Where's our right guard?
Do you put Zach Tom there? Do you put? I mean, Yash Nyman's probably better keeping him at right tackle and put Zach Tom there. But then you have John Runyon Jr.
Yeah, you
right?
got Runyon. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? Oh boy. Huh.
So again, those are some good things to be debating about, I guess. Yeah,
it's a good problem to have, but that's why and it's probably too late unless somebody gets hurt and there's a team, like you said. I really feel, and I know Packer fans, you're going to kill me for this, but we got to trade David Bakhtiari. I just let him go. Let's just, we got depth. We got guys to put in there. We got younger guys to put in there who are relatively injury free, and we can dump some money off. I just, you got to get Runyon in there, and you got to get Zach Tom in there. You got to get these guys some reps, and because if we don't have the right offensive line, we learned in the 2022 divisional game against the 49ers, when we, for whatever reason that I still don't understand, we had guys all moved around and the 49ers just got on us left and right. We couldn't run, we couldn't pass, couldn't do anything right. Wound up losing the game by a field goal, which we should have crushed them. That's why it's so important, Andy. But that's just my feelings.
John, we've got to tie into this. We've got 10 positions, 10 players that should make the team: Bakhtiari, Jones, Walker, Jenkins, Newman, Ryan, Myers, John Runyon, Yash Nyman, and Zach Tom. That's 10.
Right.
And those are all capable players, all capable of starting in the NFL. And they're going to lose, especially some of those tackles, if they only have 9 on the roster. One of those other players, if they try to move him, somebody's going to grab him. So then starts to go some of your depth. So there's 10 legitimate players that should make the team. To be brutally honest, that's where you might think about trading one of them, or probably not 2 of them, but at least one of them. So
all right,
because they have an issue that we'll talk about next time at wide receiver. They've got a lot of wide receivers.
We'll talk about that next time.
There's going to be a bit, and so they may want to keep one more wide receiver. So then you have to take for somewhere else. So, right.
All right. So let's move on to tight end.
About.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more. So let's move on to tight ends. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to do a quick fire, yes or no. And this one isn't a yes or no. I'm going to change this question really quick. But before I change that, I have to ask this one, yes or no. Should we re-sign big dog Mercedes Lewis? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Not unless there's an injury. I think they're too deep a team right now. to give him a roster spot. And to be quite honest, if we aren't going to make the playoffs anyway, what's the point?
Yeah.
Plus, he wants, he's a veteran who wants some money, and we don't necessarily have the money to pay him. So I wouldn't do it.
That's right.
Even though it's very iffy, a lot of question marks with this group.
Yeah, a lot of question marks. So who's going to have a better rookie season, Musgrave or Kraft?
Oh, you're changing that one.
No.
I could answer the other question too, with how many yards and touchdowns. I'd actually like to answer that one too.
But I know this isn't yes or no. But what do you think, Musgrave or Kraft?
Well, I would guess they drafted Musgrave in the second round for reasons, so I think he's probably going to have the better year.
Really?
But I think they're going to be pretty darn close. I think they're going to utilize both of them. So I think that's kind of going to be a coin flip between the two of them.
And I'm going to trade one. I'm going to say one other thing too. This is a yes or no. Does DeGuara stay on this team?
Oh my gosh, no! I don't think he's going to make it. He's too much. He's too much a fullback, and that position really isn't used a whole lot in the NFL anymore. So,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
Josiah,
so let's get the
third round pick.
Yeah, no, he's third or fourth. I just don't see him. No, just don't see him making the final roster.
Yeah, he was a third rounder in 2020 for the Packers. So,
and he's what do we say every time he's out? He's the Bubba Franks of tight ends, right? He's big
goes right down.
Goes right down.
Somebody touches him, he falls down. Yep.
Come on, man. All right, so let's get into the tight ends. Your thoughts on it?
Here's some of my deep thoughts on the tight end position group for the Packers. So tight end may be one position group with the biggest question marks associated with it, which I kind of said before. It's really the truth. The Packers will desperately need sudden impact from. That sounds like a movie. I think it is. Desperately need sudden impact from their two rookies. Yep. Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. However, traditionally around the league, tight end is a position where immediate impact is scarce. Now get this, John, Packer fans out there, Packer fans around the world, from 2008 to 2022, 71 tight ends were drafted in the first, second, and third rounds. And very interesting. Packers insider Bill Huber cited these key facts about NFL tight ends. Almost 1/3, 23 in all, 23 out of the 71, failed to catch even 10 passes as rookies.
Oh my God.
Almost half, 35, scored 0 or 1 touchdown.
What?
As it relates, yes. As it relates directly to the Green Bay Packers, third rounder Jermichael Finley in 2008 caught 6 passes for 74 yards and a touchdown. Third round pick Richard Rodgers in 2014 caught 20 passes for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. Third rounder Josiah DeGuara, aforementioned, in 2020 had 1 catch for 12 yards until he blew out his knee. Jace Sternberger, who's not with the team anymore, also picked in the third round, went without a catch in 2019.
Oh my God.
If anyone is keeping track, that's a combined 27 receptions for 311 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Packers will absolutely need more than that if they are going to compete for a playoff spot. So, John, you see the comparisons and the similarities there with some of the issues. Yeah, not only for the league, but also for the Packers. Yeah, so Josiah DeGuara and Tyler Davis are both a pair of 2020 draft choices who only have 47 combined receptions between the two of them. And DeGuara is not really a true tight end anyway. He's kind of more of a fullback. I think, what do they call him? An H-back or something to that effect. But whatever. He's not a tight end, not a true tight end anyway. So the other tight ends on the roster, Henry Pearson, 6'8" tall, Austin Allen, and Cameron McDonald are also they're all on the roster, and they will not make it. So just to let you know, we have I think it's 7 tight ends if I'm counting right, and we're gonna probably be lucky if maybe 3 of them, maybe 4 make the roster. Usually they like to keep what it is at 4 or 5. This is off the cuff, John, but usually that's about how many they want to keep. And that's where Mercedes Lewis may come in, but at this point I don't see it happening. So you're looking at the 2 rookies, Musgrave and Kraft, and then you're also looking at what's that other guy? Tyler Davis. There's a good chance they may keep him. DeGuara, I'm not sure. He's on the fence. So that leaves maybe one of the other 2 guys, but I don't know.
So this is really funny. No, this is really funny. This is like some websites out there. You ask what they like drinking, why they're like writing stuff. Like, did you have something like smoking something? What's going on here? Because WisconsinHeroics.com said Green Bay Packers tight ends Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft could be the first NFC North tight ends to reach 500 yards as rookies. What you just said, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Why
I would be
that?
I would be ecstatic, John, if they got anywhere from 3 to 500 yards a piece. And hopefully 3 to 5 touchdowns a piece. So combining them into like one tight end, being able to get maybe 6 to 8 touchdowns and let's say 800 to about 1,000 yards. I'd be ecstatic if we got that out of the 2 of them. But
so Andy, I got something to share with you. Yeah, Andy, I got something to share with you quick. This is absolutely hilarious. So this is from our decade of the 80s. Remember a tight end, Paul Kaufman?
Yeah, I do.
Remember him at all? Okay.
Great tight end. Okay. Yep. Lynn Dickey loved to throw to him.
Yes. In his rookie season, this is insane. 16 games played, 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. That was his rookie
big
season.
Goose egg. Wow.
Goose egg across the board. Did
they have him blocking the entire time?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Who?
Okay, so now I'm going to go into Mark Chmura. Remember Mark Chmura?
Right.
His rookie season. He was a good tight end. Both, by the way, Packer fans, if you're a Packer fan, Paul Kaufman is in the Packer Hall of Fame. Mark Chmura is in the Packer Hall of Fame. Okay? And like I said, this is the rookie season. Mark Chmura, 2 receptions, 13 yards, 0 touchdowns. What?
Wow. Yeah.
Now, our favorite tight end of all time, Andy and I, Packer Blitz fans, and
Bubba Franks? Is it Bubba?
Our fans. Bubba Franks. This is insane. This is crazy. 34 receptions, 363 yards, 1 touchdown. That's
what? And John, he was a first round pick, wasn't he? Wasn't Bubba a first round pick too? He's a first round pick too, wasn't he?
Bubba Franks. Is he a first rounder?
He was drafted really high.
Google look.
This is
Bubba
great
Franks
podcasting again right here. We're looking it up on the fly.
This is great podcasting.
Totally off script.
Here, look. Okay. When was Bubba Franks drafted? 1999. He was
drafted him like 15.
14th overall, first round. You are correct, sir. First round.
I was close.
14th overall.
Round. Yep. You still would expect that more than that from a first round pick, but still that he had the best best
Yikes.
stats of any of them, didn't he?
Yes.
Great job,
by
Bubba.
far.
Yeah.
One tackle.
Wow,
Boom.
that's
All right.
disconcerting.
That's horrible. That's
So
very concerning.
there is a reason. I'm going to get into this right now, John. There's a reason for this
Okay.
trend.
Okay.
So here is a
Why?
realistic take from head coach Matt LaFleur when it comes to the
Oh, here we
challenges
go.
for a tight end. And here's a quote from Matt.
Yeah, here we go.
There's just so much knowledge that you have to acquire in terms of you're responsible in the running game and the passing game, and you might have some protection responsibility. I think that outside of the quarterback position, you're talking on the offensive side of the ball, the tight ends have to know the second most of anybody because they have every facet of the game. End quote.
Yeah.
So even that might not have sounded great. That was his direct words. So I probably would have did some editing in there to make it sound better, but sorry, I was reading it word for word.
I got you.
Yeah, so basically he's saying they're the second most, and they have to learn the second most besides the quarterback as far as the offense goes. So that was kind of very, very, very interesting. And that's what he said just a few weeks ago. So,
so then our starting tight ends have to be Musgrave, Kraft. Who's the third guy?
Doesn't really matter
if he can step up. I don't know.
He's got it, but the thing is, John, he's got to throw to somebody. By default, they're going to be out there and they're going to get some passes thrown to them. So they're going to have to produce. They're going to get if they get open, they're going to have some passes thrown to them.
Going to have to.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens. Absolutely. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, isn't it?
Oh boy, now you depress me.
Yeah, I mean,
I was excited.
Tyler Davis was out there last year, and he caught a few passes or whatnot. But he's not the answer either. I think he was a sixth rounder that we picked in the same year that Deguara was picked in the third.
Yeah.
So
but he was the same guy that when I was watching him I totally remember this, watching him in preseason, he dropped every pass thrown to him, every last one. And I thought, oh, he's cut, and they did cut him and then bring him back. And I'm like, what? Anyway, so
he's just a guy, John. He's got a good body. I mean, he looks like a tight end.
He looks the part.
But there's just no flashy plays with him, and sometimes he just doesn't make the plays he should. So, but we'll move on from that.
Yeah, so let's move on to
keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, special teams.
Okay, so I'll talk about that, or we can alternate, whatever you want to do. So,
whatever.
Our kicker is Anders Carlson.
Yes.
Like there's nobody. I don't think there's anybody else on the roster right now.
Not right now.
So, right. So he is the depth chart. So he's got the job until something happens, and hopefully nothing happens. But as of now, so the question is Carlson a 6th round pick this year, a worthy successor to Mason Crosby? And we're about to find out.
We're going to find out.
Anders Carlson's career at Auburn doesn't provide much confidence. In 5 seasons, he made 71.8% of his field goal attempts. And I think I talked about that on a previous podcast.
Yeah, on previous podcast.
He was 34 of 34, 100% from inside 30 yards, 15 of 20, 75% from 30 to 39 yards, 25 of 39, 64.1% from 40 to 49 yards.
Oh boy.
That's pretty much an extra point. That's not good.
Yeah.
And 5 of 17, 29.4% from 50 plus yards. Now he does have a great leg, according to what we've heard.
Yeah.
But
Rich Bisaccia.
not very accurate.
No.
So expecting a kicker who was inaccurate in college to become an accurate kicker in the NFL seems foolish. However,
it is foolish. However,
it is not that unusual. Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker, Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker, who was number one in field goal accuracy last season for the league, and even former Chicago Bear sound effect.
There you go.
Chicago Bear. Former Chicago Bear kicker Robbie Gould all had accuracy problems in college. Some of them actually, Robbie Gould was much worse than Anders Carlson. I think his field goal percentage was in the 60% range. And Robbie Gould, to give him some credit, is a very accurate kicker, or has been in the NFL for a long time. So he's making typically between 85 and 90% of his kicks every single year. So he's been a really good kicker, although he played for the Bears at one time. Esteemed kicking coach. Esteemed kicking coach Jamie Cole said this of Carlson: I think Anders has a lot of talent. If he can make it through the early storm, he's got a chance to be a really good player. Really good player. Okay. Jamie Cole, by the way, had worked with all 16 drafted kickers and punters.
Okay.
Just to let everybody know.
Okay.
So let's stay positive and hope Anders Carlson is the Packers' long-term solution at kicker, just like Mason Crosby, their former 6th-round pick. Yeah, Mason was a 6th-round pick also in 2007. And their kicker for the past 16 season hopefully he's the same kicker that Mason was for all those years.
Yes. Yeah.
John, I don't know if you want to talk about the punters, but I can talk about them too.
Sure.
Very interesting stuff with them.
Punters are people too. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it. I saw a little thing on Daniel Whelan. He's one of our punters, and then Pat O'Donnell is the guy coming back from last year. So the big question is, can Whelan, a former undrafted free agent and XFL punter, push the current starter O'Donnell for a roster spot? That's the question. There's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
For our international fans out there, Daniel Whelan started out as a soccer player and was born in Wicklow, Ireland.
Nice.
So I personally saw some video on him, and he's got quite the leg. High booming kicks like the legendary Ray Guy. Daniel Whelan is a raw talent-wise, but has great potential. This may be the year to explore that. Maybe Daniel will bring the Packers a little luck of the Irish. For the upcoming 2023 season.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, really not too much going on that front either.
No.
You want to talk about long snapper, John? I really don't.
No, long snappers, no.
Okay.
I know the guys are part of the team, and it's a hard position to play, but you're not going to win or lose games with a long snapper, because if you do, you really suck. Let's be honest. If a long snapper loses you the game, you suck anyway. You shouldn't be in that position. So anyway, let's move on to this kind of tragic story, but hopefully has some good news at the end, because I didn't hear this story. So why don't you take over that, Andy?
Yeah, some sad news to report, Packer fans. Joshua Shaw, a member of the Packers construction team, tragically lost his life after an accident that occurred during ongoing renovations at Lambeau Field. The death actually occurred last month, but the incident was only recently made public. John, it eerily reminds me of the construction accident that killed 3 iron workers and injured 5 others at Miller Park.
Right. That was
way back on July 14th, 1999. A crane called Big Blue collapsed when it was operated outside of design specifications for the combination of load and wind. The construction of the Milwaukee Brewers' new home cost human life. It just gives me a sense of perspective. 27-year-old Joshua Shaw made the ultimate sacrifice to just build something so that Packer fans could experience something new at Lambeau. The Packers organization has truly built an incredible fan experience in Green Bay, but not without loss. Progress sometimes comes with great sacrifice. Joshua's mother did reveal that he was an organ donor. Joshua's heart, liver, and lungs have been successfully transplanted, giving 6 individuals in need a second chance at life. Also, Shaw's other tissues will contribute to the well-being of countless others in need. So according to Dov Kleiman of BroBible.com, and I quote, he quotes, the tragic loss of Joshua Shaw has left the community mourning the passing of a young man whose life was marked by both selflessness and a commitment to helping others. As the investigation progresses, it is hoped that it will shed a light on the circumstances leading to the incident, ensuring that necessary measures are taken to prevent similar tragedies in the future. So, John, we were talking before the podcast that he was actually with his dad and his brother. They were part of a construction team. I believe they were carpenters. And so, do you have any comments on this tragedy, John?
No.
It's kind of,
No, it's terrible. And, you know, I hope everyone, you know, is, you know, rest in peace, Joshua. Being up here, did you learn anything new today?
Well, you're the savant, John. Did you learn anything today?
Well,
did you learn anything today?
Let's see. I learned that we're not really sure. Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to what I learned really quick. We're not sure about the tight ends, our special teams. Well, I hope it works out. But our offensive line should be great. I learned all those things. So, Andy, why don't you take it from there?
So for me, number one, regular everyday folk like Lambeau construction worker Josh Shaw put their life on the line to make this world a better place for Packers fans like us. The second thing that I learned, number two, there is a training camp battle royale about to start between Yosh Nijman and Zach Tom at right tackle. And the third thing that I learned today, John, I even watched the USFL because I cannot wait any longer for pro football to start.
We are so pathetic and desperate.
Yes. No. Yeah. So what's on tap for the next episode of Packers Blitz, John?
Yeah. So number one, we're going to take a continue close look at more position groups, this time on the defensive side of the ball. Andy, what else is up?
Yeah, the second thing is the Packers need to resign Rashawn Gary desperately.
Oh, please.
And what could be the timeline for the Gary extension? So we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Or in the next couple weeks.
Yes. And then very interesting look at the Packers' most dominant individuals seasons of the Aaron Rodgers era. So I'm excited about that. Andy?
Yeah, and then the last thing, there was a recent article by ESPN that says the Packers have been robbing the NFL for the past decade.
What?
Robbing, yep. It was only one of 2 teams that had been caught stealing from the NFL from 2013 to 2022. So listen to our upcoming Packers Blitz podcast and find out why the Packers are committing misdemeanors and maybe even felonies.
I am hooked for that. So we have a lot of topics coming up here. Hopefully we'll be on next week, you know, depending on our schedules and everything, but we are super excited to be back. because Andy and I can no longer stare at the ceiling and watch USFL football and some goofy Tom Selleck show and me watching cricket.
Jesse Stone, it's awesome, John. It's awesome.
Okay. Okay. All right. I should pick on Tom Selleck. He was Mag and PI. I will check it out. But anyway, but Packer fans, please reach out to us at PackersBlitz80@gmail.com. Any topics or anything you want to talk about, from leading up to training camp. Also, you can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, which is Packers Blitz. We're also on YouTube. By the way, Andy, I don't know if you know this, but when the season starts, we're going to be doing more YouTube. I think we want to do us showing us watching the games and flip. That might be fun. Maybe doing some other things, talking live after the game or live during the game. Who knows? This is our podcast. We're all a bunch of just crazy guys who love doing this for our fans. And we love you, Packer fans, because you guys, again, are the. Well, and that's it for me. Andy, other than Go Pack Go, what else you got?
Well, if we're going to be doing, some videos of us watching the games, I might have to loosen up my arm a little bit as we're throwing stuff, but hopefully not too much this year. Hopefully we're winning a lot of football games.
Yes, we are.
We'll have to make sure that we have some impact resistant things available to us so that we don't destroy too much in your man cave and at my house either. So
yes, it's absolutely.
So looking forward to that. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be lots of fun. So fans, we will see you. We will talk to you soon, hopefully next week. Other than that, Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
All right, buddy. Love you. See you later.